Hello, my name is Brenna. This happened last March on my 21st birthday. I'm a senior at University of Miami studying marketing, and I need to tell you this because I still can't believe how close I came to just disappearing. So it was a Saturday night, like 10:45, and my roommate Georgia had been planning this whole thing for weeks. We went to Pulse, that big club in downtown Miami near Brickell. You know, the one with the LED walls and the rooftop section? Yeah. We'd been there before for other birthdays, so it felt safe. Normal. Georgia knew one of the regular bartenders and everything. The place was packed. I mean, shoulder to shoulder. And the bass was so loud you could feel it in your chest. We'd been dancing for maybe an hour, and I was wearing this silver dress I'd bought specifically for tonight. Georgia kept buying me shots. These little pink things that tasted like candy. I wasn't drunk or anything, just happy, having fun. I went to the bathroom around 10:45. Had to text Georgia because we'd gotten separated in the crowd. The bathroom line was insane, like 12 girls deep, so I was standing there, scrolling through Instagram, when this bouncer walked up to me. Tall guy, maybe late 20s, wearing the black Pulse staff shirt with the logo. Name tag said Jonah. He smiled at me and was like, "Hey, birthday girl, right?" And I was confused for a second because I was wearing a birthday sash that Georgia had put on me, so I was like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" He laughed and said, "Management wanted to give me a VIP upgrade for my 21st. Said they do it sometimes for birthday groups just to be nice." He handed me this purple wristband, the thick silicone kind. It looked official. Had the Pulse logo printed on it and everything. I remember saying, "Oh my God, seriously, that's so cool." He told me to meet him by the back bar in 5 minutes, and he'd take me and my friends up to the VIP section on the second floor. Free bottle service and everything. I was so excited I literally ran back to find Georgia. When I found her, she was pumped. We finished our drinks and headed toward the back bar where Jonah said to meet. He was there, waiting with another staff member, this shorter guy with a beard. Jonah waved us over and was like, "Right this way, ladies." He started walking toward this hallway I'd never noticed before, past the bathrooms, past the kitchen entrance. Georgia grabbed my arm and whispered, "Is this the right way? I've been to VIP before, and it's near the front." But Jonah turned around and said the main VIP entrance was too crowded tonight, so they were using the back stairs. Made sense, I guess. The club was insane that night. We followed them down this hallway. It was dimmer than the rest of the club. The music started getting quieter, which felt weird. My heels were clicking on concrete instead of the club's regular floors. And then I noticed the wallpaper was different. Like, Pulse has this black and purple aesthetic everywhere. But this hallway had beige walls. Plain. Almost industrial looking. That's when my stomach dropped. I stopped walking. Georgia bumped into me and was like, "Bren, what's wrong?" I looked back the way we came. The hallway was longer than I thought. I could barely hear the music anymore. I turned to Jonah and said, "Where are we? This doesn't look right." His face changed, just completely changed. The friendly smile disappeared, and he said into his radio, "We got a smart one. 2 females, purple band, back corridor." I grabbed George's hand. "We need to go, now." We turned around, but the bearded guy was blocking the hallway behind us, just standing there. His radio crackled, and I heard a voice say, "Copy. White van is ready." Georgia screamed, like really screamed. Jonah grabbed my arm, but I twisted away, and my bracelet fell off. That's when I saw it properly, under the emergency exit light. It wasn't the same purple as Pulse's VIP bands. It was lighter. Wrong. We tried to run past the bearded guy, but he grabbed Georgia. I didn't think. I just kicked him as hard as I could in the knee. He went down. Georgia broke free. We ran. The hallway led to a door. I slammed into it. It opened to a parking garage. Not the main parking garage where we'd parked. A smaller one. Service entrance, maybe. There was a white van, running, engine on, sliding door open. I saw her. Another girl. Young, maybe 19. being pulled inside by someone. She was crying, fighting. I heard her scream, "Help me!" And then a hand covered her mouth. Georgia was crying, hyperventilating. I pulled out my iPhone, and it unlocked with my face, even though my hands were shaking. I called 911, but Georgia yanked my arm and pointed. Jonah and 2 other guys were coming through the door we just came from. We ran toward the street. My heels broke, both of them. I kicked them off and kept running on bare concrete. It was cold and rough, and I didn't care. We could hear footsteps behind us, heavy, fast, getting closer. There's a front entrance to Pulse on the corner, the main entrance with the velvet ropes and the real bouncers. We crashed into this crowd of people waiting to get in. I was screaming, "Help us, please, they're chasing us." Georgia was sobbing. A real security guard, someone I recognized from other nights, grabbed us. Whoa, what happened? I couldn't even talk. I just pointed at the corner where Jonah and the others had stopped. They saw the real security and the crowd, and they just turned around and left. Police came in maybe 4 minutes. I was sitting on the curb with Georgia, both of us crying. They took us inside to the manager's office. I told them everything. Described Jonah, the purple bracelet, the hallway, the van, the girl. The manager looked confused. He said, "We don't have anyone named Jonah on staff, and our VIP bands are blue. They've always been blue." They pulled security footage, found the moment Jonah approached me, found him and 3 other guys entering through a service entrance with fake Pulse staff shirts, found the white van in the back lot. The police arrested them that night, all 3 of them, plus 2 more waiting in the van. They had fake staff IDs, professional-looking ones. The detective told me later they were part of a trafficking ring that had hit 4 clubs in Miami that month. They specifically targeted birthday girls, young, drinking, separated from groups. They found the girl from the van. She's okay now, or she's alive. I don't know if okay is the right word. I go to therapy now, twice a week. I haven't been back to Pulse. I probably never will. Georgia transferred to a school in Atlanta. She couldn't handle being in Miami anymore. The thing that keeps me up at night is how normal it felt at first. How easily I trusted that purple bracelet. How close we came to just vanishing. 4 more minutes, and we would have been in that van. I'm 22 now. I don't go to clubs anymore. I don't think I ever will again. Hello, my name is Caden. This happened 2 months ago at Roosevelt High in Portland. I'm 17, senior year, and I still don't know if what happened to me is actually over. The police can't tell me. Nobody can. It started with a phone call, October 15th, around 9 p.m. I was in my room doing calculus homework when my phone rang. School number, Lincoln High's main office line. I almost didn't answer because who calls from school at 9 p.m.? But I picked up. Caden. It was my guidance counselor's voice. Ms. Rodriguez. I'd know it anywhere because I meet with her every Tuesday for college application stuff. Yeah, hi. Is everything okay? I need you to confirm some information for your transcript. UCLA is requesting verification, and there's a discrepancy with your address history. Seemed weird, but whatever. She asked for my current address. Then she asked where I lived in 2019. I told her we moved that year from an apartment on Division Street to our current house. And the apartment number was 4C, correct? Yeah. How did you... Just verifying. One more thing. Your mother's maiden name for the records? That's when something felt off. Why do you need that? That's like a security question. She laughed. Caden, it's for the official records. UCLA needs complete family information. I gave it to her. I don't even know why. It was her voice. Exactly her voice. The way she says my name with a slight emphasis on the first syllable. Her tone. Everything. Thank you, sweetheart. Have a good night. She hung up. I felt weird about it, but I went back to my homework. Around 10 p.m., my actual phone buzzed. Email from the school district portal. Subject line, password reset requested. I didn't request a password reset. I logged into my account. Someone had tried to access it at 9:47 p.m. Failed login attempt. Then another at 9:52. Then they'd requested the security questions. Mother's maiden name, previous address. My hands started shaking. I called the school number back. It rang 4 times, then went to the automated menu. School closed, no staff available. I tried Ms. Rodriguez's direct extension, voicemail. I texted my friend Shelley. She's in my calc class, lives 2 streets over. Did Ms. Rodriguez call you tonight about UCLA stuff? She replied immediately. No. Why would she call at night? She called me at 9, asked about my address history and my mom's maiden name. 3 dots appeared, disappeared. Then, Caden, that's really weird. Ms. Rodriguez left for a conference in Seattle this morning. She's gone all week. My stomach dropped. I called my mom, told her everything. She came upstairs and we called the school's emergency line. They patched us through to the principal at home. He sounded half asleep. Ms. Rodriguez is at a conference. She left this morning. Are you sure it was her voice? I'm positive. It sounded exactly like her. Could it have been a recording? Sometimes scammers... No. She responded to what I said. We had a conversation. There was a long pause. I'll have our IT department check the phone system tomorrow morning. In the meantime, change all your passwords. Don't give out any more information. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about that voice. It was perfect. Not similar. Not close. Exactly her voice. The next day at school, they called me to the office during 3rd period. The principal was there with someone from district IT. They'd checked the phone logs. No outgoing call from the school number at 9 p.m. on October 15th. No calls at all after 6:30 p.m. But I have the call in my phone history, I said, showing them. The IT guy looked at it. That's spoofed. Someone used software to make it appear like it came from the school number. It's not that hard to do. But the voice. That was Ms. Rodriguez. Exactly. He pulled up something on his laptop. Have you heard of voice cloning? AI can replicate someone's voice from just a few minutes of audio. Your counselor has videos on the school website, welcome messages, college prep webinars. Someone could have downloaded those. My skin felt cold. Why would someone do that? I asked. Nobody had an answer. The principal said they'd reported to the police and monitored the situation. They sent an email to all parents about the incident. Generic. Didn't mention my name. Just warned about phone scams using AI voice technology. But it didn't stop. 3 days later, I got a text from Shelley. Screenshot of an Instagram DM from an account that looked like mine. Same profile picture, same username, just 1 letter different. The I in my name was replaced with a lowercase l. You couldn't tell unless you looked closely. The message said, "Hey, can you send me the calc homework from yesterday? Or I was absent." Shelley wrote back, "You weren't absent, you sat next to me." The fake account replied, "Oh, lol, I meant the day before, Tuesday." Shelley didn't respond. She screenshotted it and sent it to me instead. I reported the account. Instagram took it down in 2 days, but another one popped up, then another, each time slightly different, using old photos of me, messaging people I knew. One of them messaged my mom pretending to be me, said I was staying late at practice and needed her to Venmo me money for dinner. She almost did it. She was typing in the amount when she thought to call me first. The police got involved. Cybercrime unit. They traced the fake accounts, but they were created using VPNs, temporary emails, IP addresses from all over. Russia, Philippines, Texas, dead ends everywhere. The detective assigned to my case was honest with me. This is sophisticated. Whoever's doing this knows what they're doing. They're careful. But why me? I asked. I'm nobody. I'm just a high school student. She didn't have an answer. It's been 2 months now. The account stopped appearing 3 weeks ago. No more calls. No more fake messages. It just stopped. But I don't feel safe, because I never found out who it was. The police never caught anyone. Ms. Rodriguez changed all her online privacy settings, The school took down their staff videos. But whoever cloned her voice, whoever made those accounts, they're still out there. Sometimes I wonder if it was someone I know, someone in my classes, someone who has access to my schedule, my photos, my life. The detective said most stalking cases involve someone close to the victim. I changed schools for second semester. My parents let me transfer to a different district. I deleted all my social media. I don't answer calls from numbers I don't recognize. But here's what keeps me up at night. That voice on the phone was perfect. And if they could clone Ms. Rodriguez's voice that perfectly, they could clone anyone's. My mom's, my best friend's, mine. How do you protect yourself from that? How do you know who you're really talking to? I don't have an answer. Nobody does. If you're watching this, please leave your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced AI impersonation or digital stalking? Let me know where you're watching from. And please subscribe to Unheard Fears for more true stories. Because this stuff is real, and it's happening more than you think. Hello, my name is Graham. This happened last November when I was 34, working remote from the Big Island. I'm a software engineer, and I thought a 2-week work from Hawaii setup would be perfect. It wasn't. I booked an Airbnb through the usual process. Searched listings near Volcanoes National Park, filtered by price and Wi-Fi speed. Found a cottage about 15 miles from Hilo, 1 bedroom, decent kitchen, surrounded by Ohio forest. Host was someone named Haley. 4.8 stars, 83 reviews. Most recent ones mentioned quiet location and responsive host. I arrived Wednesday afternoon, November 6th. Keypad entry, code texted to my phone. The place matched the photos. I unpacked, set up my standing desk in the living room, tested the Wi-Fi. 45 megabits down. Good enough for video calls. First night was fine. I worked late, had calls with my team in California until around 9 p.m. Went to bed around midnight. Woke up Thursday at 6:30 like normal. I made coffee and stepped outside. The cottage sits on about a half acre. Lots of native plants and volcanic rock. That morning, there'd been light rain, the kind that comes and goes on the windward side. The ground near the steps was still damp. That's when I noticed them. Boot prints in the softer dirt near the propane tank on the side of the house. Large. Definitely not mine. I wear running shoes. These were work boots with deep tread. They led from the driveway around to the back bedroom window. I felt uneasy, but tried to think practically. Maybe Haley sent maintenance to check something. The propane gauge, maybe. I took photos with my phone and messaged her through the app. Hi, Haley. Did you send someone to check the property yesterday or this morning? Seeing boot prints by the propane tank. While waiting for her response, I remembered I'd set up my Ring doorbell on the front door the first night. I always bring one when I travel. Battery powered, connects to Wi-Fi. I opened the app and scrolled through the motion alerts. Wednesday, 11:52 p.m. Motion detected. I clicked the recording. Dark, hard to see. Someone walking up to the door. Male, I think. He reached for the keypad. Entered a code. Red light. Wrong code. He tried again. Red light. He stood there for maybe 10 seconds, then walked away toward the driveway. My chest felt tight. I checked earlier recordings. Wednesday, 3:14 a.m. Same person. 2 more failed code attempts. Thursday, 2:38 a.m. 3 attempts. Someone had been trying to get in, multiple times, with codes that didn't work. Haley replied around 9 a.m. No, I didn't send anyone. That's odd. Could be someone cutting through to the trails, but they shouldn't be that close to the house. I sent her the Ring footage. Someone's been trying to use old door codes, 3 different nights. Her response took 20 minutes. Oh God, those look like codes from a few months ago. I changed them between guests for security. I don't know how someone would have those. Should I be worried? Let me make some calls. I'll get back to you. I tried to work but couldn't focus. Around noon, I drove to Safeway in Hilo to get supplies. Pasta, vegetables, more coffee. At checkout, the cashier was maybe mid-50s, local woman. She scanned my items without much eye contact. Then she scanned my reusable bag and saw the keychain I'd attached. It had the rental address printed on Haley's welcome card. Her hands paused, just for a second. She looked at the address, then at me, then quickly finished scanning. $62.40, she said quietly. I paid. As I was leaving, she said, "You staying long?" 2 weeks. She nodded slowly. Good locks on that place? It felt like a weird question. Yeah, why? Just asking. Have a good day. I left feeling more unsettled. When I got back to the cottage, there was a folded paper stuck in the screen door. Plain white printer paper. I opened it. The guy before you had problems. Different place might be safer. Neighbor at 4156. That was 2 houses down. I could see it through the trees. I called Haley immediately. This time she answered. "Graham, I was just about to call you. I talked to my property manager. The guest before you, he checked out early. Like really early. Middle of his second night. He messaged me at 4 a.m. saying he needed to leave immediately and wanted a partial refund." Did he say why? No, just that it was urgent. I asked if something was wrong with the property, and he said no, personal emergency. I refunded him for the unused nights. What was his name? Luis. That's all I have. Last name's on the booking, but I can't share that information. Privacy policy. What did he look like? Pause. White guy, 30s, tall, dark hair and beard. Why? My height. Similar build. Similar enough. Haley, I think someone's confusing me with him. I told her about the note, the cashier's weird questions. She went quiet. "I'm calling the police," she said. "Stay inside until they get there." 2 officers arrived around 3 p.m. I showed them everything. The ring footage, the boot prints, the note. They watched the videos on my phone. "These code attempts are using old access codes," one officer said. He was older, maybe 50. That means someone who previously had legitimate access, or someone who got the codes from a previous guest. The host thinks it might be related to the guy who stayed here before me, Luis. The officers exchanged a look. "We'll need to verify some information. Do you have a case number from the host or anything documenting the previous guest's early checkout?" "No, just what she told me." The younger officer took notes. "We'll follow up with the property owner. In the meantime, I'd recommend staying somewhere else if you feel unsafe. We can increase patrols in this area. Can you tell me if something happened here?" The note mentioned the previous guest had problems. The older officer closed his notebook. "I can tell you we're aware of an incident involving a rental property in this area in late October. I can't share specifics because it's an active case, but I can say that if you match the physical description of someone involved, it would be reasonable to relocate temporarily." That was enough. That was all I needed to hear. I'm leaving tonight. They gave me a case number for my report. Told me to call immediately if anyone approached the property. They drove by slowly twice while I packed. Before I left, I walked down to 4156, knocked on the door. A woman in her 60s answered. Local. Filipino, I think. "I'm Graham. I got your note." She looked relieved. "You're leaving?" "Yeah. What happened with Luis?" She glanced past me toward the road. "I don't know everything, but there was a truck here a couple times. Late October. Men looking for someone at that cottage. They knocked on my door asking if I'd seen the Hale staying there. I said I mind my business. Next day the cottage was empty." "What kind of men?" "Local boys. Looked angry. One had family on the south side, I think. That's all I know." "Why were they looking for him?" "I don't ask those questions, not my place. But you look like him. Same height, same beard. Better you leave." I drove to Kona that evening. Got a hotel near the airport. Spent the rest of my trip there. When I got home to Seattle, I searched online for any news about the area. Found a vague post in a local Facebook group from late October. Someone asking about mainlander at rental near volcano causing problems. No details. Comments were deleted. I checked Haley's listing a week later, still active, but 3 new reviews mentioned host takes security seriously and codes changed regularly. Nothing about incidents. I never found out what Luis did. Haley refunded me partially. Airbnb added a note to my account documenting the case number. I'm back to my normal routine now, but I think about that cottage sometimes. Those boot prints. The ring footage showing someone who knew old codes. That neighbor's warning. I was in the wrong place, looking like the wrong person. That's all it took. If you're watching this, leave your thoughts below. Have you ever been mistaken for someone else in a way that put you in danger? Let me know where you're watching from. And subscribe to Unheard Fears for more real stories. Sometimes the scariest part is never knowing what you walked into.